Alright, so here we are on lesson 11, and lesson 11 is about the surface area. So you should be on page 19 of your note packet. And at the top it says that surface area is the total area of the surface of a three-dimensional shape. So if you think about the word surface, that kind of means like the outside. So we're talking about the area of the entire outside of this 3D shape. So that means we're going to have more than one thing to find the area of. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of label our shapes here based off of what they gave us. So we know that the length is 2, so I'm going to do all my labels in blue here. So that means this will be 2 up top, and you don't need to do everything, just a general sense so you have enough measurements on each picture. Alright, so if you open up, those would be 2. And we also know that our width is 2, so that's why we put those in. And then our big height is 5. So we need a 5 on all of these. Okay? So now what we want to do is we want to try to organize which shapes are the same and which shapes will have the same measurements. So we know this little tiny box up here at the top. I'm going to label this number 1. And then we are going to have number 2s. Actually, this middle one is also going to be a number 1 here. Those will be the same. And then all of these outside rectangles, I'm going to label number 2s. And these will all have the same measurement as well. So go ahead and label those. Alright, so we're going to start with the number 1s. So number 1, we're trying to find the area, and it's just a square. It's going to be length times width. And this width here is actually 2 as well, so it's going to be 2 times 2, which is just 4. Alright, so that'll work for both of our number 1s. For our number 2s here, our number 2, we will have area equals, and it's length times width, so it's going to be 2 times 5 this time, and that will give us 10. So now to find the total surface area, we have to add up all of our individual shapes that we labeled at the start. So we'll start with our number 1s. We have 2 number 1s, so we need 2 4s. So 4 plus 4 plus, and then we need 4 10s, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. So our grand total here equals 48, and it's centimeters squared just because it's surface area, so we are in square units. Alright, so that's number 1. Take a look at number 2 here. Same idea. First we need to put our number labels on. So our width is 4, so all of our short sides here are going to be 4. So I'm going to label those. Oh, that's not a 4, just kidding. Alright, and then all of our long sides, if we look at our length and our height, these are all 9. Scroll up a little bit here so I have room to write my 9 at the top. This is a 9, this is a 9, this long side's a 9. Here, and here, 1 in here. Our outside. So I think we have enough here. So now I'm going to number them. So these are going to be our number 1s here, these kind of shorter, skinnier ones. This is the number 1, this one, and this one. So we have 4 number 1s, and our other 2 bigger boxes are going to be number 2s. Okay, so for our number 1s, to find the area, it's just a rectangle, so we're going to do length times width. So we're going to have 4 times 9, which is 36. And then for our number 2s, again, length times width. So for this one, we're going to have 9 times 9, which is 81. So now we need to add up all of our individual numbers. So we're going to have 36. We need 4 of them. Plus 36, plus 36, plus 36, and then 2 81s, plus 81, plus 81, to give us a grand total here. When you add all those up, you get 306 centimeters squared. Okay. Go ahead and flip the page over. So now we've got a little bit of a different shape. Now we have a triangular prism here. Remember, it's a prism because it's surrounded by squares or rectangles. So first we need to put in our measurements that they gave us. So we know that our length across the bottom here is 3 for our triangle. So that's a 3, as well as our height. So all these squares here are going to be 3s. Over here, and over here, and one down here. So the only different thing is our height is 2. So that's where we dropped in that dotted line. If you remember, this is our height, and that's 2. The same thing down here. This is 2. Alright, so now we're going to label them. So our triangles are going to be number 1s together, and then our squares can be number 2s. Alright, so number 1, area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. So we're going to do 3 times 2 divided by 2, and that gets us 3 in the end. And then for our number 2's, we just have a square, so it's length times width. So we have 3 times 3, which is 9. So now we need to add them all up to find the total. So for our triangles, we have 2 triangles, so we're going to have 2 3's, so 3 plus 3, plus, and then we need 3 9's. So when we add them up in the end, we get 33 centimeters squared for our total surface area. Alright, one more here. Very similar to the one we just did. So first let's put in our labels for our numbers. So we know our lengths are 8 again here. 8, this will be 8, and another 8. One more for our triangle. Alright. And now, though, we've got a few different measurements in here. So our width going back is 9. So that means these sides here on the outside are going to be 9. And then our height is 6. So we got to draw in our height. Is 6, and then the same thing down here is also 6. So we should have enough now. So now when we go to label them, we're going to have our triangles as number 1's. Alright, but now our center squares, we've got to check and make sure that they're all the same, which they are. So these will be number 2's. Alright, so for our number 1's here, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So we have 8 times 6 divided by 2. 48 divided by 2 is 24. And then for our squares, we have length times width, so 9 times 8, which is 72. So now we add up all our individuals, so we have 2 triangles, so 2 28s, plus we need 3 72's. So when we add those up in total, we end up with 264 centimeters squared. Okay, so I know that was a lot, and I know the labeling of the sides is probably the hardest part, but that's all we're going to do for the video, and then we'll do some more practice in class tomorrow.